Board of Zoning Appeals coming to order, July the 8th, 6 o'clock. Let's see here. First order of business is approval of the minutes from June the 24th, 2024.
Madam Chairman, I motion to approve.
You got a motion to approve? Second from Mr. Milburn. Motion by Mr. King, I'm sorry, Mr. Mole. Duh. All those in favor, raise a hand. All those against, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Any special requests or continuances?
Yes, ma'am. Marty Spees, North Point Engineering and Surveying, here for representing the developer for BZA 2024-022 Development Standards Variance. Asking for a continuance till the next scheduled meeting for July 22nd, 2024.
We have a request for continuance. Do we have any room for that for the next meeting, or do we need to look at a different date?
There are things on the agenda. I do think that it could likely fit onto the agenda as well. It would be something that's overloaded right now.
Okay.
Staff is supportive of the continuance as we are still trying to work out the parking agreement. We're being optimistic that the next meeting we'll have something ready, but there is also a chance that it could be continued again if the parking agreement situation is not sorted out.
Okay, so the main concern though is if there was room on the agenda, and it sounds like there is, so I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to continue.
Motion to continue from Mr. Mull. Have a second from Mr. Milburn. All those in favor, raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
So we plan to see you at the next meeting, which is scheduled for July 22nd.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So next up on the agenda, findings of fact. First one, BCA 2024-018 Development Standards for petitioner Lanny Cowden on behalf of Heights Venture Architect and Design, known as Panda Express, for the property located at 1285 North US 31.
Madam Chairman, in consideration of statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as our final decision, final action for variance petition number BZA 2024-018.
Motion by Mr. King, seconded by Mr. Mull. All those in favor, raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. We have findings of fact for BCA 2024-020 Development Standards Variance. Kristen Stevens for property located at 1271 Stone Ridge Court.
Chairman, in consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted to the record as our final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2024-020.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milburn. All those in favor, raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. Old business has already been rescheduled to July 22nd. Old business from the floor. Seeing none. New business. First up, BZA 2024-023 Development Standards Variance for 331 West Pearl Street. Petitioner Jessica Franklin from the UDO section 10-03-13C6. Accessory structures to allow an accessory structure over 300 square feet to not have a 36-inch masonry wainscot. Anyone wishing to speak? We'll get you sworn in a minute. Are all the notices in?
Yep, notices are in and everything's been complete and is in our file.
Okay.
And I'll set up that topic agreement with ordinance and the comprehensive plan.
So all those wishing to speak, will have you sworn in by the secretary.
You swear on these perjury to the best of your knowledge. I do. Thank you.
Is there anyone online wishing to speak to this petition? And we'll need your name and address for the record, and there should be a sheet there to write your name and address, so we make sure we have the spelling and everything correctly. You can do that after you present. So go ahead and tell us why you are here.
Jessica Franklin, 337 West Pearl Street. Wishing to build with a variance for the wainscoting on the property, building a garage. And I don't want to put the wainscoting.
Do you have your statement? It's regarding the, excuse me, the questions that were presented?
So for the approval will not be injurious to the public.
Yes.
I-
I'll start it out. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because
The building is in the rear lot. It will not impact health, safety, or general welfare.
number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because
Will not impact adjacent properties because it's again in the rear of the lot and should not be visible from the road.
number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because
In the rear of the lot, the building would make it more susceptible to water damage as a metal building. Again, aesthetically pleasing for the rest of the community. Nobody else has that type of structure.
and number four, the structure is not regulated under Indiana Code 8-21-10-3 for hazard air navigation.
Yes, sir. Correct, not applicable.
Do you have anything else you wish to present?
I do not.
Does staff provide input?
Yes, so staff is supportive of this variance request, as the petitioner said. None of the surrounding buildings have a wainscot on them. The primary structure does not have a wainscot on them, as well as the existing accessory structure that they'll be demoing, and this will take its place, so they're gonna be staying at the same number of accessory structures. It will just be a newer accessory structure that they're replacing it with. But went through the whole alleyway that this is located in, and none of the other structures have this. As we noted in our staff report, the masonry wainscot requirement also makes a little bit more sense when it can be seen from the public. This will only really be visible to those that use the residential alley. And of those people, none of them have a wainscot on their garage or shed. So we don't think it'll cause any harm or decrease any of the property values of the neighbors. So we are giving a favorable recommendation. Again, it's located in Old Town, which doesn't really have the aesthetics that you would see in a newer subdivision or in an area where the existing homes have masonry components to them. It's tucked away in an alley, and we don't feel that that this had any findings that would suggest that the variance would not be appropriate. We did have the one condition that it would substantially conform to the site plan as depicted in Exhibit C and elevation depicted in Exhibit D. If you guys choose to approve this, we would recommend that condition.
And I'm assuming there's no problems with that condition being in place. Anyone else? Close the public hearing. Go to the panel. Mr. Moore,
I have no questions.
Mr. Holder, Mr. King, and I have nothing. I'll entertain a motion to admit the evidence into the record.
Madam Chairman, I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the EO and comprehensive plan, testimony of petitioner, city planning staff and any administrators, and all other exhibits presented be they oral or written for consideration by this board in regard to the petition, and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milburn. All those in favor, raise a hand. That motion carries 4-0. Entertain a motion on the petition.
I move that we approve this request with the one condition in the staff report, which is the final plans shall substantially conform to the site plan depicted in Exhibit C and building elevations depicted in Exhibit D.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Mull. All those in favor, raise a hand. Seeing none. That carries 4-0. Sorry. Getting tongue tied this evening. All right. And I'll entertain a motion for issuing findings of fact.
Madam Chairman, I consider statutory criteria. I move that we direct the Corporations Council Office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the various requests presented in various petition number BZA 2024-023. Said findings specifically incorporate the staff report and evidence submitted into the record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision and final action regarding the petition at our next meeting.
A motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milburn. All those in favor, raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. You're at liberty to go ahead and proceed working with the city staff, and we'll make our decision final next meeting, but you can move ahead. Yeah, okay. All right. Now, next up, we have petition BZA 2024-024 Development Standards Variance for 689 Hillcrest Drive. Petitioner Jack Disney from UDO section 10-03-9C3 fence height to allow a fence up to 8 feet in height in a side or rear yard. Anyone wishing to speak to this petition? Be ready to be sworn in, and does the city have all the documents in order?
All the documents are in order and in our files.
Can I go to present our evidence, the Greenwood ordinance and comprehensive plan?
Those wishing to speak, it appears that we have someone online. And anyone else wishing to speak for or against, will need to get sworn in by our secretary.
Do you swear that this perjury testimony is true to the best of your knowledge?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I do.
Okay. If you both are planning to speak, or,
Just me.
okay. We'll go ahead and get started. Tell us why you're here.
We're requesting to put a 8-foot fence on
I'm sorry. I forgot. Name and address for the record.
Jack Disney, 689 Hillcrest Drive, Greenwood, Indiana. We're requesting to put a 8-foot fence around the back and sides of our property.
Okay. Do you have your, questions and answers for on the petition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll lead you through the beginning. The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because
Well, we're just putting a 8-foot fence around our own property. It doesn't impede anyone else. I think we just put the a well-constructed fence will just add value to our property and our neighbor's property as well.
okay, you do have your answers to the questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because.
I apologize. I'm reading it on my other computer.
Adjacent to the
I apologize. I don't think that's pulling up correctly on my end.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read what is in the document, and you affirm that it is in fact correct for the record. It says a well-constructed fence will add value to my property as well as neighboring properties. Do you affirm that that is what your
Yes.
response was?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because.
Yeah, due to the higher elevation of my property to adjoining properties, a 6-foot fence is not sufficient to provide necessary privacy or screening for my family or adjoining properties.
Okay, and the number four does not apply as the structure is not regulated under NAI Code 8-21-10-3 for hazard area navigation. Any other comments you wish to make regarding this request?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the staff has some comments.
Yes, staff is providing a favorable recommendation for this request. I should have included it in the packet, but I did pull the contour map up and you can tell where it definitely slopes off to the rear. From what I can tell, it's like about 2 to 4 feet, so increasing the fence height from 6 to 8 feet will make up for that difference. So it'll have a part just look like a typical 6-foot fence. The only condition we ask for is that the plans substantially conform to the site plan that was submitted, which just follows our fence regulations.
And since no one else had indicated wishing to speak, I'm assuming there is no one else online, no one else in the audience. Okay, close the public hearing. Questions from the panel? Mr. Mull?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Milborn? Mr. King? And I have nothing. So I will entertain a motion to admit the evidence into the record.
Madam Chairman, I move that we admit all evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the UDO comprehensive plan, testimony of petitioner, city planning staff, and Indian administrators, all the exhibits presented be made oral written for consideration by this board in regard to this petition and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milburn. All those in favor raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. I'll entertain a motion on the decision.
I move that we approve the request with the one condition in the staff report, which is the final plans shall substantially conform to the site plan depicted in Exhibit C.
A motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Mull. All those in favor raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. I'll entertain a motion for the written findings of fact.
Madam Chairman, have considered statutory criteria, I move that we direct the corporation's counsel office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the variance request presented in variance petition number BZA 2024-024. Said findings specifically incorporate the staff report and evidence submitted into the record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision, final action regarding the petition in our next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. King. All those in favor raise a hand. Motion carries 4-0. You are approved to go ahead and work with staff to proceed with your plans, and we will take final action at our next meeting, but you can move ahead. You okay?
Okay,
Okay, all right,
thank you.
all right. Next up, new business from the floor. Seeing none, any announcements?
Brief announcement, the comprehensive plan, we do have another public open house. It will be on, Wednesday, the 24th, I believe, at 6 PM at the Greenwood Public Library. It goes 6 PM to 7:30. I encourage you guys to attend if you're interested. We will also have the draft comprehensive plan posted on our website, plangreenwood.com. So you can go on there and look through the draft and let either staff or HWC know if you have any comments or questions. I should be sending out a email to BZA, Plan Commission, and Common Council shortly with more information on this.
Anything else?
Hope you had a good Fourth.
How about you, Mr. Sherman?
Nothing.
Nothing? All right, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Stop there.